My job here tonight is really simple. I'm just going to facilitate a conversation with someone that we have a great deal of respect for. And I want to just introduce him to you here in a moment. Dr. Phil Carson is a registered pharmacist and doctor of pharmacy. I want to just give you a background on this guy so you know who we're talking to. Registered pharmacist and doctor of pharmacy, duly licensed in both Mississippi and Tennessee. You're going to hear the accent, by the way. For more than 4 decades, that's more than 40 years, he has served people all over the nation, frankly, with his passion to see people more healthy. He's a supplement formulator himself. He's a certified diabetes care and prevention pharmacist and has earned all kinds of certifications in holistic and functional medicine. He's the president of Carson Natural Health and Functional Medicine Wellness. He is the founder in Health Life Online Community, co-founder of the Life Transformation Medical Center and Brain Recovery Institute. This guy's credentials are intense, but they're quite remarkable. This guy really thinks outside the box. He is not your typical doctor. I'm just going to tell you that up front. He believes in helping people find natural alternatives and integrative medicine solutions to their health problems. He's really committed to helping people find the root causes of their health issues and not just treating symptoms like so many people tend to do. I've not met too many people who are more passionate about encouraging and teaching people how they can really enjoy lifelong wellness and live in health, spirit, soul, and body. So he's an author, wrote an incredible book called How to Live Until You Die. What a great title that is. And he speaks all over the country doing what he does. He's really knowledgeable in both pharma and nutritional supplements. I want you to understand that. He has this background in pharmacy, but a few years ago, he really made a pivot to nutritional supplementation and natural solutions. And he is specifically familiar with the science behind the Phix product. In fact, he's known about this for a long time. He studied it at length, and he spent some time with our CEO, Randy Tynert. He spent quite a bit of time with the formulators of the product. I cannot think of anyone that we would want on here more qualified to share with us tonight. So without further ado, let me bring on my new friend here, my buddy, Dr. Phil Carson from Mississippi. Dr. Phil, are you there?
Hey. I am here.
There you go. There's the camera.
Now.
Fantastic.
There we go.
I want to just thank you for taking time. It's 9:22 in the evening Central Time. But here we are putting this out there so we can help a lot of people. So thank you for joining us tonight, man.
Yeah, thank you, Brian. Thank you for that a wonderful introduction there. And I just want to say I wished I had the energy that Terry has. I love his energy, man.
Me and you both, right? And he's older than both of us, Dr. Phil. So that's the deal.
Oh, wow.
Hey, I wanted to start out here, and I know this is a little off topic, but I think it's germane to the conversation. One of the things in your bio here, you talk about how maybe close to a decade ago now, you made a significant decision in your life where you kind of pivoted away from pharmacy and from pharmaceuticals and prescription drugs and began to really pursue deep understanding with natural solutions and nutritional supplementation, those types of things. And my understanding is you've built quite a practice where you work with clients all over the place, helping them with these solutions. Why the pivot? What brought you to that really important point?
Yeah, it's great. Great question, Brian. Well, what brought me in the beginning was my own health issues. I was struggling with some major health issues myself, and I was taking a handful of medications, which were giving me some temporary relief of my symptoms. And that's all they were doing. And that's what most medications are designed to do, unfortunately, is give temporary relief of symptoms. And so I was struggling. I couldn't keep living the way I was living. And I said, I got to find an answer. Well, God led me to a bookstore one day, and a brand new book had just been published called Prescription for Nutritional Healing. It was written by a medical doctor and a nutritionist's wife. I picked that book up, started thumbing through it. I said, I got to have this. I see some things in here that might help me. So I got it. I started applying the things this doctor recommended, and it literally changed my life. It saved my life, I believe. And I started wanting to learn more at that point about nutritional things, about supplements, about natural products that I was taught nothing about in pharmacy school. except for the history of those products. And so I started applying these things to my own self, my own life, changed me. And I said, well, I started telling my patients that were coming in the pharmacy about it, about the things I was doing. And they would come back and tell me what a difference it was making in them. And it just kind of grew from that. And I ended up several years later opening up a couple of integrated pharmacies. Ended up years after that opening up a wellness clinic with a doctor friend of mine, and then helped another friend of mine start a brain wellness clinic. And I ran wellness programs in those clinics. And then when COVID hit, of course, we had to shut everything down at that time. Thought we were going back to the clinic in a few weeks, but y'all know what happened with COVID. And so I pivoted at that time and started doing online wellness coaching. And I work with clients all over the country now. And I love what I do. I love making a difference in people's lives and helping lead them and guide them to the knowledge that helps them live healthier lives like I've been living for the past couple of decades now.
That's incredible. You know, this product, and of course, you know, Terry just did an amazing job giving a high level overview of it, but this product is obviously targeted to those who are struggling with let's just say weight issues or specifically fat issues. Oh, yeah. And, you know, talk a little bit about the idea, because this is a product that addresses that with obesity being a fairly big issue, you know, in most places in the world, but certainly here in the USA, you know, carrying around these unhealthy fats. I'm assuming there's quite a domino effect. It's not just the fact that we're overweight and kind of tired all the time, but it probably is dominoing into a lot of other health issues. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I could talk for an hour about this, but I'll keep it to 30 minutes. Okay. No, I'm just kidding.
You got 30 seconds.
But I could talk a long time about this. This is what I do every day: help people that are struggling with all kinds of health issues that most of the time are related to excess body fat.
Amazing.
You can attribute most chronic diseases today that people are struggling with, the top killers on the top 10 list, if you want to talk about that and look at that, can be attributed to excess body fat a lot of time, especially diabetes and all of the complications associated with diabetes, like heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's. All of those can be associated with diabetes and something that's called, actually they've got a new term, they call it diabesity, because most diabetics are obese, overweight. But excess body fat affects the hormones. It affects our brain health. There's all kinds of different things that people don't even think about the effects of it and what it's doing. But I'll tell you one more thing quickly that I've been seeing more in the past couple of years is more people, and I've got several clients I've worked with over the past few years that have been diagnosed with what's called fatty liver disease, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease.
Oh, wow.
They don't drink or they drink very little, but yet they've been diagnosed with fatty liver disease, which is a common problem with alcoholics. And so that can be attributed to the buildup of the visceral fat that Terry was talking about a moment ago.
Awesome. So let me just kind of pivot here for a second, because we're not going to get too deep in the weeds here, but I think it's important that we do this. I've got a doctor on the call tonight, and we're talking about Phix. We're talking about what we're bringing to the market that I believe is going to be a solution for so many people in so many ways. But I want everybody to know up front, this webinar is for educational purposes. It's for informational purposes. We are not here to be a substitute for any professional medical advice or diagnosis or treatment or whatever. We're going to probably mention some things along the way that are related to health. That's just kind of the nature of what we're doing here. But always seek the advice of your doctors. Always get the kind of professional advice that you need to feel secure about what you're doing and your path to wellness and health. I'll also say that, the things that we talk about in relationship to this product, the statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. They're not going to be probably. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. We're not making claims. I want to make that very clear. but we are going to talk very candidly about what this is. So let's talk about Phix, specifically the product we're bringing to market. Dr. Phil, when you think about this, we know it comes from the hops plant, but that's a pretty high level view. What is Phix? What is this great product?
Yeah. Well, great question. Because when I first heard about this, I got super excited. I'm not gonna lie, because what I do for people, how I help people, I see this as like Terry was talking about a moment ago. This is gonna help and affect me and the people's lives. But hops has been around for a long time. Well, since the beginning of time, God created the plant.
Yep.
But hops has been used in natural medicine for many years, many centuries. That's been used, and you can find hops products all over the place. One of the great things about hops, they have a very calming effect. But this is not the standard hops you're going to find out there on the shelf or on Amazon or somewhere. This is a special extract of hops.
Okay.
And it's a proprietary extract of hops. Now, there's a couple things you may find if people do research and like to do research like I do, they may find something called MHBA, which is matured hops bitter acids, and it's also described as a matured hops extract. This is a matured hops extract that this formulator has formulated here. And it is standardized, and it is a very, very powerful formula, and it's nothing else like it out there. I've looked, and there's nothing else like it as far as all the hops products. And so this excites me that we have something here that was discovered years ago, but now it's even better than it was when it was discovered because of the process that Trey and his team have been able to develop to create this concentrated extract of matured hops. And
so tell me what
amazing.
When you said a moment ago the word it's a standardized extract. What does that mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard the term, but I'm not really clear on what that means.
Yeah. Well, with all plants that are used medicinally, you have all these different components in these plants. Alkaloids, you've got phytochemicals, you got all these different components of the plants that can be extracted. And also you have the whole plant. And you'll find hops, a lot of hops products out there, you'll find it's the whole plant. You'll find that with many other herbal products that are available out there. They're sold as the whole plant. And then you have what's called extracts of those plants. The specific products or phytochemicals or that are isolated from that plant or from the part of the plant, like hops from the flower. Some plants, things are isolated from the stems, from the root, from the flowers. It's amazing what God created, and how these extracts are made and pulled out. There's a standardization, and with standardization, you have a specific product, a specific extract that's standardized to a certain potency.
Okay.
And that's what we have here. We have a extract that's standardized to a certain potency, a potency that's much greater than the original product that was discovered, in the 1950s.
Okay. So we understand a little bit about what it is and kind of where it comes from. What does it do when this is introduced into the human body via, as we know now, any liquid? You can use it in any liquid. What happens? What does it do to benefit us?
Yeah. Well, as far as what it does for helping burn visceral fat, it's stimulating the release of a hormone called CCK, which stands for cholecystokinin. It's hard to say, actually. Try to say that.
Say that 3 times real fast.
Yeah. Cholecystokinin, CCK. This is a hormone that's naturally in our bodies. And it's a hormone that's responsible for mostly for proper digestion.
Okay.
And so CCK also, what the studies are showing, CCK can stimulate the sympathetic nervous system to turn on basically thermogenesis in the brown fat. It activates the brown fat to heat up That's the thermogenic process, the thermogenic response. And when that brown fat heats up, it helps burn up that belly fat, that visceral fat that Terry was talking about a moment ago. That's how it works. That's what it does. But also, what this hormone called CCK does, it activates release of bile from the gallbladder. It activates pancreatic enzymes from the pancreas, which are needed for digestion. It's a natural response in the body. And this can activate that and increase the bile. Now, there are certain people out there that they do have, and studies show this, have a deficiency in CCK. And they're struggling with digestive issues. And then also, it slows gastric emptying. And when you slow down the gastric emptying, the food's not emptied from the stomach as fast, and you feel more full more quickly. Your brain gets that signal, hey, I've had enough, let's stop. And so that's another way that it works. I could list thing after thing after thing of what CCK does. There's CCK receptors all over the body, even in the brain. But we won't go down that path. But anyway, that's how it works. That's what it does in creating that fat burning process with the thermogenesis. But also, it helps when you can digest your food better.
Yeah,
you know that's going to help with the weight loss as well.
Absolutely. So what I'm hearing you say is that this element, this extract, which is a very specific extract, an isolated, standardized extract, when it's introduced into the body, maybe on the front end of the process, it activates or triggers this production of CCK, which then triggers, it's kind of a domino effect again, where the CCK production triggers the thermogenic response, which triggers the fat burn, which triggers all these digestive things. It's really a holistic kind of an approach to things, but it begins with this activation that was generated out of this phenomenal extract. What makes Phix specifically, and what we're bringing to market, what makes this different than other products? And this is kind of an unfair question maybe to you, because of your background, but I don't want to get off in the weeds or get us in trouble on mentioning any names of any things, but you've got categories of prescription drugs, you've got all kinds of things in the health food stores, things you can find at Walgreens, on the supplementation section. What makes this unique and different? You've kind of touched on a couple things, but from your perspective, what kind of sets this apart?
Yeah, well, you're right. There are all kinds of products out there. And all kinds of weight loss products out there. And I would say the majority of them don't even work. But what sets Phix apart is, first and foremost, it's all natural. It's a plant extract. And also the side effect profile. There's not one. I've looked at just all the studies I've looked at. I can't find where they talk about any major side effects that they've had or observed or found with hops extract, and can't find it. So that is huge. When you look at a lot of the prescription products out there for weight loss, you look at some of the other even over-the-counter weight loss products that are being sold, there are side effects, and some of them are pretty harmful, pretty scary and dangerous side effects. And a lot of people disregard those side effects a lot of times because they're desperate. Sometimes they're desperate to lose weight, and this is huge. This is huge because that sets this product totally apart from everything else out there right now. And then you've got this special extract that we're talking about, this isolated extract. That there are other hops extract products out there, but not one that does this, and not one that has the studies behind it that shows what this particular product will do. And I've looked at some of those others as well. And what I find with the studies with the matured hops extract, it's providing much greater benefits from what I see in the studies I've observed. So I'm excited about this and what the potential that it has.
Absolutely. One of the things that we've been discussing regarding our particular product that we're bringing to the market, Pure Adified has a 3.0 pH level. Okay, when
Yeah.
extracted out there and brought into extracted. Okay, uh, we have taken and enhanced that to a more neutral pH, which is around seven,
Yeah.
7.5.
Yeah.
What's the significance of that process being a part of what we're bringing to market?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when you're looking at medication, drugs, looking at plant extracts, whatever, they can have a certain pH level. These products can, and they're often adjusted. That pH is often adjusted with different products that the companies use to adjust that pH to make it more palatable, to make it more bioavailable for the body, and they have to be. There's certain things that we take, certain things we put in our body. If the pH is not right, you could cause harm, or you're not going to get the greatest benefit you would get from it.
So bioavailability is kind of a big deal, and that's just the body's ability to utilize the potency and the strength and the efficacy of what that particular element's bringing to your body, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks. I'm glad for that clarity. Listen, over the many years since this was discovered, I think you mentioned the 1950s is what we understand it to be.
Yeah.
You've mentioned this already. There's been so many studies done on the base extract, and by that I mean the potency and the particular strain, if you will, of what they discovered 70 years ago.
Hmm.
You've shared with us that some of these were quite extensive, these studies, and in fact, some of
Yeah.
them, even where they studied folks for 30 days, 45 days, and they were doing blood work throughout. There's just all kinds of stuff out there on the base extract that was discovered a long time ago.
Yeah.
You know, how, I guess what I want to know is how confident can we be that we're bringing something to the market that is, of course, safe, but that
Yeah.
has tremendous efficacy and potency, and is in fact better than potentially what we've seen, in the past as far as what's been out there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, my belief is that you can be very confident from my observation and digging into the studies. I would say extremely, confident that what you got is a safe product, and a product that like we mentioned a moment ago and Terry mentioned, is going to potentially affect millions of people's lives, and help them get to uh, the place where they want to be health wise, and be able to lose that weight that you're struggling with. People that are struggling all the time have been struggling, to lose weight, and they're looking for something because they don't know, what to do a lot of times. They don't, and they're not doing the right thing, and they're following some fad after another fad after another fad. I don't see this as being a fad. I see this because of the mechanism of action of this particular compound, this matured hops extract compound. I see it being something that's going to be around for a long, long time, and it's going to make a huge difference in people's lives. And that excites me because it's my passion, and what I do is to help people, and to help people get off medication, help people get their lives back, get their health back, to lose the weight if that's what they need to do. And some people don't need to lose weight,
Well,
but
I was just about to ask you that question. I mean, what if, now I'm not talking about me, okay, right
yeah,
now. I could promise you, I might be
yeah,
talking about Terry, but what if a person is not necessarily obese, or maybe generally speaking, they're in pretty good health? Is this something that if they wanted to have a cheat weekend, or if they go on vacation and they want to, not necessarily be as concerned about what they're eating or drinking, or maybe they're going to
yeah.
go out on a weekend and have a few adult beverages, is this something that can be taken as a preventative to help their body not put on stored fat, so to speak? Is it something that they can use even if they're not necessarily trying to burn off a bunch of stored up fat, or unhealthy fat, or lose weight?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I believe that's something that may very well be possible. Yeah, I'm not making any claims, can't do that. I'm not saying, yeah, it's going to be a preventative. But I can tell you this, based upon what I've read in the studies, based upon what I know the hormone CCK does. Yeah, a person who is not not overweight, they're not obese, they're pretty healthy, but they want to do something, take something that can help improve their digestion. That's preventative right there. Anytime you can improve digestion and get better utilization, better absorption, better assimilation of the nutrients that you're eating and the foods that you're eating, yeah, that can add to the preventative effects that people are looking for with their health. And I talk to people all the time, Brian, that are healthy and they want to stay healthy.
Yeah, yeah.
And especially this younger generation. I talk to the younger generation people all the time. They reach out to me. Sometimes they're struggling with a health issue or two, but they don't want to end up like their parents or their grandparents.
Yeah, they don't want to look like
And
mom or dad.
yeah, and anything like this that can be an additive or an add-on to what they're doing as far as eating right, taking better care of their bodies, that could help perpetuate what they're doing already. I'm all for it, and I
That's a good
believe
plan.
this
Yeah.
is something that young people will want to take as a preventative.
Awesome. So one last question here, and then we're going to begin to wrap this up and land this plane. So, as a pharmacist, 40 years, you've been around medicine. You're in health and wellness almost all your adult life.
Yeah.
You're a nutritional wellness expert, someone who has personally looked at this product very, very closely, and really studied it. What would you say to a person who might, you just for whatever reason, be inherently hesitant or unsure, or maybe someone who wants to wait until they've seen volumes of studies that they probably wouldn't understand anyway, but or publications. I know it's way above my pay grade. I just can't do it. But in all seriousness, what would you say to a person who is really thinking, man, this sounds amazing, but what would you say to that person?
Yeah. Well, there's always going to be people like that, and skeptics, and people that are say, hey, I need to know more, want to know more, and that's fine. And I love people asking me questions. I love people questioning things, and I love to teach them what I know, and help them understand things. And I think what we have here with this product is the studies are out there. You can go look at them. You can go to PubMed. You can go look at them. Whether or not they're that easy to understand for your regular lay person, they're not. But I would say, based upon everything I've seen and researching this and looking at this and looking at what it does, and the studies that are out there, the overall effects that it's providing or has provided for the participants in that study, I just it excites me, and I'm believing that anybody who questions this, just go look and look behind the curtain, see what's out there, because it's there. You don't have to wonder, and you don't have to wait for other studies to come out, even though there will be, and there are more studies to come. They're coming, but there's no side effects. It's all natural, and look, everything that's natural is not always safe. But I don't see any harm in anyone in any situation because of what I've seen with this, giving it a try.
Yep.
And I believe they'll be glad they did if they do.
Let me ask you a question, and this is loaded. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to answer this publicly, I would totally understand. You have many clients that you service on a weekly basis, counseling, coaching, prescribing, all the stuff that you do to help people. Are you already thinking in terms of recommending this to your clients?
Absolutely. Yeah. I've got quite a few clients that are overweight that I've been working with, and they're doing a great job of beginning to reduce their weight. They're eating right, they're drinking more water, they're exercising more, but that doesn't fix everything.
Yeah.
And it's great. It helps. And sometimes you need something else. People that are overweight, a lot of times they think, well, it's my fault. I don't exercise enough. I don't eat right. Sometimes that is a part of it, but there's also hormonal imbalances.
Yep.
There are different things going on in the body that are affecting their weight, and not just what they do. And those things have to be looked at. And I see this as something that a person could take and help in a lot of different ways, because of all the multiple actions that CCK has in the body, and the stimulation of CCK, and what the hops extract does as far as turning on that brown fat and activating it, the thermogenesis, that any of these people I'm working with, all of these people I work with that are struggling with their weight, this is something that's going to help them. And I'm super excited about it. I can't wait to get it in their hands.
Awesome. Well, man, I'm super grateful for your time. And on behalf of the entire team, we're just, we're so pleased to have you kind of in our corner here, helping us to understand, helping us to kind of get our heads wrapped around this. Yeah. But for all of you who are listening tonight, I hope this has helped you to sort of get a deeper dive, a deeper understanding of what we have in our hands and what we have to work with here. And what I'm going to do here to wrap up, I'm going to bring Terry back on. And Dr. Phil, thank you, man. God bless you for all that you're doing to help. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, Brian. I've enjoyed it.